Welcome back. Today I'm going to make some enemies. Diablo 4 was not made for you if you're not an ARPG player. Alright? So what am I getting at? Okay, I wasn't going to make a video like this because, like I said, I'm going to make some enemies. People are going to be pissed off. Diablo 4 is not an MMO. Diablo 4 does not expect you to have your single character or even 5 characters in each class that you play all the way to the end. That is not how the game is designed. Whether you play hardcore or softcore, you are going to lose your character. That is how ARPGs work. Why? Because of seasons, because of ladders, because of new features added into the game. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because there is so much talk of people being shocked and, oh my god, I'm appalled, I'm so shocked that there are seasons that have you restarting your character from the beginning. Forbes now has an article that they released on the 20th yesterday, and it's all over the place. It's all over the forums. I have some tabs open there at the top. I saw Forbes. When I saw this, I said, all right, that's it. I'm making my own video. Ladders and seasons have been in the ARPG genre for nearly 20 years. In fact, maybe even over 20 years. What is Diablo 2's original release date? Diablo 2's original release date is 2001. It is over 20 years old. There has been seasons in ARPGs for over 20 years. This is not new, and I know what the problem is. And many of you watching this video, you might be a side effect of Blizzard's advertising, or the fact that they're Blizzard. Like, we all know of a big game that Blizzard makes that has orcs and elves and humans. We know what that game is, right? Generally speaking, when Blizzard releases a game, people flood from one game to another, whether or not they've been a part of that genre to begin with, whether or not they've ever played a game in that genre, whether or not they're interested in a game in that genre. They will flood from one game to another, from one Blizzard game to another. So there's been a big influx of players to Diablo 4 that are not ARPG players. So they cannot fathom that, oh, I'm gonna lose my character? Like, wait, I need to re-level again for this season? What the fuck? Like, yes, that is how ARPGs work. And let me tell you why it's a good thing. Let me tell you why it works. You have something like Path of Exile. I'm gonna search. I don't even like PoE, by the way. PoE Legion. And we're going to look at this real quick, because this is a season I remember. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up Path of Exile on my Steam account, because I'm going to show you guys, yes, I have played Path of Exile. I have over 647 hours in it. I have all achievements. I don't even like the game. I don't even like it. I don't think it's a good ARPG. I don't like how it's designed. I don't like its skill gems. I don't like a ton of stuff, the passive tree, whatever. Regardless, PoE is a big game in the ARPG genre, right? We have to talk about PoE if we're talking about ARPGs in general. It's a popular game. So we're going to look at Legion real quick. Just one random season that I remember. Legion. Players can find a Legion interacting with a timeless monolith. This is something that appears in kind of like randomly throughout zones as you progress through the game. You'll run into something called the Legion event. You'll come into this timeless monolith thing that you click, and I know that looks really weird. It's hard to tell what's going on, but you come across this little monolith and you touch it, and it starts a timed event, right? And look, an 8% chance to spawn on the map. It can spawn in various areas of the game, depending on how you're playing, right? When you click this, it starts a time. Let's see, interacting with monolith will reveal a battle between two legions that is frozen in time. During this phase, the enemies can be killed. A timer will start once the monolith is activated. The timer can range from 14 to 20 seconds, with a longer timer on lower level zones. Once the timer runs out, all the enemies that had their health depleted will become unfrozen and start attacking. So the enemies you killed during the frozen phase actually come to life when the timer ends. And you kill them, you get a lot of experience, a lot of loot. So the more you can kill, the better, right? That is it. That's a whole new season that drops, and that is your future. So I want to bring this into perspective a little bit. If you log into a max level character, There's a new little event here, Legion. You go out into the world map, you check different zones. Okay, I didn't get it. I didn't get it in this dungeon. Oh, there it is. I got it in this dungeon. Oh, cool. You spend a minute on the event, and that is it. That is it. So now you log off and wait 3 months for the next season. Maybe you level the battle pass in there in a day. That's it. Every 3 months you play for 1 day if you keep your max level character. These season events are designed to bring people through the new content while they play the game that they originally played. Maybe you do a new class, maybe you do a new build, and there's a fresh like new season little event thrown in there like Legion. And there's some bigger ones like Delve, I hate it, but you go into like a mine shaft and it's dark, and you can go down really far into the depths of the Delve mine and really explore it. That's a bigger feature. Then there was like not hideouts. Heists was another one in Path of Exile, and that's kind of a bigger one than Legion, but there generally are going to be seasonal events that range from whether or not they're big events or they're just kind of like a Legion thing thrown into your normal gameplay. Of course, there'll be story additions as well, but like I said, this is not an MMO, and MMOs are my favorite genre. It's my favorite genre of games. I love MMOs, but this is not an MMO, and it would not make a good MMO. It really wouldn't. Because if this was an MMO, I would hate Diablo 4. I would absolutely hate it. Because it's just not good. It's not a good MMO, but it's a good ARPG. Yeah, it needs work. Yeah, it's got bugs. Yeah, it's got balance issues. It needs work, but it's got a good base. It'll get there, I think. I truly do think it'll get there to a point where I could be happy with it. But I'm just going to look at this article a little bit here. Forbes, like we always laugh at these big editors and such because they make really, really stupid comments. Check out my Sekiro video for me, kind of taking shots at them. Wasn't Forbes, but a big editor. Anyway, Riot essentially confirms, you need to take part in seasonal quest line, mechanics, season journey, and battle pass. You need to create a new seasonal character. Makes sense. It's part of the new season, right? Playing a campaign with seasonal character, if you so desire or need to finish, will also progress the season journey and battle pass. So there you go. There's also an Eternal Realm, which holds your character permanently. If you want to log on your level 100 and just kill some stuff and play the same character, go for it. But it won't be a part of the season because, like I said, you're logging in at level 100, even if it's a new story section of story that they added to the game, what's that going to take you? A couple hours? You log in, you do a couple hours of the new story, it's done. 3 months later, you go do the same thing. You log in, you do the little Legion event outside, they do something like that, you see what it's all about, level your battle pass, log out. At most, you're spending, 12 hours a season. At most. And I say the 12 hours, and I came up with that number kind of because that is what I estimate a level 100 will level the battle pass at that rate. And I get that number because Blizzard distinctly said that if you could level a battle pass that started at level 0 while you're level 100, you'd fly through it. It's based off like the experience you earn on the character. So as a level 100 is gaining experience, he's gaining a lot more experience than a level 1. You can't do that though. New season means a new character, so you're leveling the battle pass starting on a level 1. So thankfully, you can't even use a level 100 to do that. So you have to go to the season if you wish to level that battle pass. And I think that's the way it should be. Something to entice players to actually want to start a new season. New rewards, new mechanics, new story that you can get to. New builds, new balance. There's plenty of things to get you in there. So I know this is probably already... The people that are already pissed off haven't even made it this far in this video. Who am I kidding, right? They haven't even made it this far. But if there's anyone pissed off and you're still watching this video, I applaud you. I applaud you to maybe, maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe you're thinking, okay, it's a different game. And it's a complete different mindset you have to have for the game. And my brother, who's been playing with me, has the same thing. Like, what's the point of leveling this character if I'm going to lose it? There's different things. There's a reason. It freshens up the game. And if Blizzard does a good job with seasons, it'll freshen it up enough to actually enjoy playing through again. Be different things, like I said, different builds, different classes eventually. And different seasonal events along with the battle pass to help entice you to go for it, right? Yeah, and they're saying like the claim that all ARPGs do this is mainly referencing Path of Exile. No, it is not. It's mainly referencing Diablo 2, which had seasons that barely had any additional content at all. Barely had any, because it didn't have seasonal events and new seasonal things, but people still did it because it created a fresh economy. Fresh economy for the game, and if you really like to compete, you can go for the ladder. You can race the ladder, try to race to the top, and put yourself up there on the leaderboard. Diablo 4 doesn't really have much of an economy going on. Hopefully we see that one day, but if not, they need to bring a certain amount of freshness to seasons, like Path of Exile does, and they're going to do that. So it makes complete sense. And again, maybe people think I'm blowing this out of proportion here, like, oh, people aren't really complaining about it. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they absolutely are. Can't wait to see the reception of Season 1 Blizzard pulled in all of his new audience and basically going to tell them to F off to appease people that just want to do the archaic season system for the next 10 years instead of giving a fresh take on the ARPG genre. This is such an idiotic comment. That is what ARPGs are. I get it. You want an MMO. I do too. I'm still waiting for an MMO. My guild's waiting for an MMO to jump into. We're like, there's no good MMOs to play right now. It ain't gonna be retail WoW, I'll tell you that right now. We're still waiting for it. And the fact that people think that we can have the same characters running the entire time. Do you know what you need to make that a viable system? You literally need MMO like raiding and PvP systems. You're talking about getting like a ton of people together to kill bosses that have like guaranteed progression drops. To make a system like that is not only, in my opinion, going to get extremely boring from an ARPG standpoint. It's going to be something you can't really support for longevity. You can't. That's like adding a new raid in WoW or a new expansion in WoW every 3 months. That's unheard of. That's an insane amount of content you're asking people to do, and it's not realistic. It's not. And it doesn't work for the ARPG genre at all. And again, don't destroy the freshest of seasons. I'm a true RPG player who bought D4 exactly for what features was promising. A lot of level grind. So this is the other side of the argument. Like this guy, he gets ARPGs, obviously. He understands seasons and such. Half boosted in a new season. He's talking about like giving people the altars and such right off the bat. I don't mind having the altars at the start of the seasons, but I'll say this right now. Altars don't exist anymore. If we play this game for 10 years and within the first week we have all of the altars, they're not even a feature. It's not even a thing in the game anymore. It doesn't exist. Because then you'll balance the game around having all those additional stats, and it's like they don't exist at all. So I think it's weird to add a feature into the game and then say you never have to do it again in the next seasons. So if this game goes for 10 years, you do the altars once, and you maybe it's a feature you don't even like. You don't like the collectible type of thing where you go around the world. And all right, fine, but don't even add the feature in the first place if you're gonna do that. That's just very strange. Need to relevel again for seasons? Should we get rid of seasons and adopt more better MMO progression? I went over this. No, it's not feasible. It's not a feasible goal. You can't do it. You really can't do it. And resets are cumbersome. No, they're not. They're really not. And I argue right now, if you feel that seasons, you don't like them, ARPGs might not be for you. Maybe you're more like me. Maybe you kind of like the ARPG gameplay, but you love MMOs. Like, that's where your true love is. Mine too, man. Mine too. I love MMOs. I would be stoked if they did a Diablo MMO. But that you essentially need to gut this game. You need to gut the game and almost remake the entire game in an MMO mindset. And we're talking like large groups, big guild gameplay, battlegrounds, arenas, which I still think should be in the game regardless. That would be really cool. Like a cosmetic arena where you earn titles and stuff. But anyway, that's another video one day maybe. I would love it. I would love if it was an MMO. But it's not. And wanting it to be an MMO, like, you really gotta wrap your head around what you're asking. Because I'm telling you, logging in to a level 100 every 3 months and having all of your gear and just blowing through all the content in a couple hours, it is not going to have longevity. I promise you. And I could already see the next complaint. It's going to be the same people complaining, like, what are these seasons? There's nothing to do. There's the content. I finished the content in 2 hours. Yeah, you're going to with the max level. So, guys, I know this is a little bit of a rant, and I usually don't do these type of videos because it makes people pissed off, makes people upset. But that's the reality. Reality is, it's not an MMO. Yeah, seasons require resets, and I cannot believe... I can believe that people are in an uproar about it because, like I said, Diablo 4 pulled in a massive amount of people that have never touched an ARPG before. I would say a massive majority of the population of Diablo 4 has never played an ARPG or has never truly participated, and I stress this, truly participated in a seasonal ARPG. I don't mean, hey, you played Diablo 2, a couple months later, maybe 8 months later, a couple of years later, you hop back in. You played PoE, and a couple of years later, you came back. That's not what I mean. I mean, you're there for every season, you are experiencing the content every season, and you're there. You're enveloped in the seasonal activities and the leaderboards, and you know what the features are like. I would say a vast majority of players are not those players. A very large population of players. And you'll notice if you leave the PC forums and you go to the console forums, there are much more complaints about the seasons. There are many more. And I assume that's the case because console players, they're not really ARPG players. They're not the same type of players as us higher class PC gamers. All right, guys, I'm gonna end my rant here. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments on this. I'd love to hear from you guys because this is a bit of a hot topic. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna hate this video, but I'm gonna speak my mind. It's what I do. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.